During the 60s and 70s, America was faced with a counterculture movement referred to as the hippie movement. What was a hippie? A hippie was a person of unconventional appearance, typically wearing bell-bottom pants and colorful clothing. Additionally, long, loose hair for both men and women was fairly common. They were critical of the society that their parents had accepted and spread vibes of peace, love, and happiness. A part of the counterculture movement that defined the group was drugs. Hippie used drugs as a way to show their rejection of the establishment. The most popular drug used by hippies was LSD. It was a hallucinogenic drug that made people trip out and lose sense with reality. A big message of the hippie culture was nonviolent protest that emphasized the message of peace, love, and happiness. They called nature their church, and their world was their holy book.
As the counterculture began, a new type of music came along called psychedelic rock. Psychedelic rock was a form of music that combined rock, folk, and jazz all together to try and represent their trips while on drugs. These songs lasted around 10 to 12 minutes long of poetic lyrics with a variety of instruments being used. Some of the famous bands such as the Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd, Jefferson Airplane, Led Zeppelin, and Jimi Hendrix. They all played at many of the music festivals such as Woodstock and Summer of Love.
Woodstock was a 3-day music festival that happened in upstate New York during 1969. The festival took place on a 600-acre dairy farm and hosted around 500,000 people. Initially, you had to pay for a ticket, but eventually was made free to attend. Performers at Woodstock included Janis Joplin, Joe Cocker, Joan Baez, Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, Sly and the Family Stone and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. One of the most memorable moments was Jimi Hendrix playing the Star-Spangled Banner on his guitar. The Summer of Love was a social phenomenon that occurred during the summer of '67, when as many as 100,000 people, mostly young people, sporting hippie fashions of dress and behavior, converged in San Francisco's neighborhood, Haight-Ashbury. It was named Summer of Love because the community wanted to put a positive spin on this festival that was getting a negative connotation from the media.
Today, the hippie movement has died off, but several things still occur thanks to their movement. For example, music festivals such as Coachella are still widely popular for people to go to and listen to their favorite musicians. Additionally, protests and peace promotions are still common in the United States.